What's going on? Nick here from the Real Heroes Show, here to talk to you about Dexter New Blood, episode 4, entitled H is for Hero. If you haven't seen this episode, go check it out. It's pretty damn good. If you have, let's press onward. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, support us for free, hit the like button because you're going to like this video because you're going to like to hear what I have to say, hopefully. Without further ado, so Harrison has sliced his first victim, or as Dexter says, he might be adhering to the code, knowing that Ethan is kind of fucked up in the head, pardon my French, because he knows that he's got some pretty disturbing drawings in his little sketchbook there. And great that he makes up a story to Angela at the school about what Ethan had planned, but we know it's not real. We know that Harrison made it all up because of what Dexter, who's a blood splatter analyst, who was also talking to his subconscious via Deb, reenacting the crime scene as to what happened. Not only that, but he then goes through Harrison's belongings in Dexter's home while Harrison's at school giving this speech about everyone has two sides and who wins, the hero or the monster. I think it's safe to say at that point in time in the school, the monster took over the hero as Ethan was sliced and bled profusely. And it is unfortunate to see Ethan go through all that, because I think I agree with him being a victim as well, being bullied. It's not fun to be bullied. And in the end, it kind of was the causation, the effect from being bullied for years and years by the jocks, and there's other people there that we don't know. There's some other females there. Audrey is there as well. And obviously they've added up a lot of, probably harsh remarks and jokes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, he is a victim. It sucks, but it's true. And because of that, we have Harrison here to befriend him and then, kind of send him on his way to the hospital. And his parents say to Harrison, look, we appreciate what you did, kind of, but don't ever show your face here again or with them. And Harrison has a weird look at the end after Ethan's father, said that and shut the door right inside the hospital. I'm really curious as to see what is going to happen with Harrison in general. Obviously, for a second there, I thought, man, what is Dexter going to think about this? What is his own father going to think? Because this entire time in the episode, Deb's like, he's good, he's normal, he's not fucked up in the head like you are. But is he? Because even in the podcast that Molly Park, we'll get to her in a second, has of, and I quote, what is it? Wow, I can't see my notes. Sorry about that. Mary fucking kill. What a podcast name. There's the episode of, I think it was episode 3 on her podcast that talks about the Trinity Killer. We see a picture of Harrison's mother. Her name escapes me, but I digress. She was obviously brutally murdered in season 4 finale, which was incredible. Wow, the whole season was great. And so he's Harrison's just like Dexter, right? He was a baby, dying in his mother's blood, right? Like father, like son, chip off the old block, as they say, as the saying goes. And, obviously that sparks something that drives something inside him. And Molly Park even says, like, that kid's got to be so fucked up, right? Like, and that's it. She says, how fucked up is that kid now? Well, we see that. We see the problems, the mental anguish that Harrison is dealing with. Not only that, but him, the 10 years he was essentially abandoned by his father. And again, I think for the sake of what we're going to see in the future, because there's this weird look that Dexter has, and he says he has my dark passenger, right? Now, was he slightly smirking at the end because he had his hand up, right? With the straight edge razor, the same sort of weapon that Trinity used to kill his mother. Or was he slightly disturbed? Like, oh God, like he does have my dark passenger, worried, concerned. I don't know. We'll find out next episode, which is by the time this video gets up to YouTube, we'll have about 2 days until the next one comes out. So moving forward, I will promise to get these Dexter reviews out soon thereafter. But we've had a lot of other content on the page, as you may well have known, or as you take a look and find out. So a couple other things I want to point out to you in this episode in regards to Molly Park and Angela, right? I think the sort of team up with Molly and Angela might do some good. I think some people might find Molly slightly, annoying, but I think she does some good because, as she says, she's got about 800,000 armchair warriors, people on the internet. Yep. Have been able to find one missing person that Angela had on her list, Faith Darwes, I think her name was. But she goes by Lauren now. She's a runaway because she wanted to escape the sort of family problems. And we know more about Iris. Obviously, that when she disappeared, and then that's kind of what drove Angela to become a cop. So she wants to do something for the rest of these girls because she feels that something bad has happened. And while I think some of these may have been runaways, I don't know if we'll find out about all the missing girls, though we know that the one girl in the second episode was killed. We don't know by who, whether it was the billionaire or Mr. Caldwell. Speaking of Mr. Caldwell, Angela has some questions for him, and he still says that he saw Matt FaceTimed. Kind of dodges a couple questions, and of course, the entire time we know Matt's dead, right? We know that since the beginning. But he lies. He says, oh, he was on drugs. He kind of dips out, staying at a hotel, run his credit cards, right? As Angela says. And we know nothing's gonna come up, right? We know that the credit cards are a dead end, but still Kurt is persistent. But we see him in the office of the diner in the back there after he hears a voicemail from Angela. And he kind of does this, this hands in the face. It's almost like he's sighing, and because I think he knows maybe deep down that Matt isn't alive, and he's just, again, he is trying to find answers. He's essentially fishing for things, right? He actually caught Dexter when Kurt goes to Dexter's place to give Harrison a drone for again, here comes the H is for hero part. And Kurt and Dexter have a little conversation about their sons and raising them, and Kurt was kind of smart maybe about I don't know if it was truly intentional, but I think part of it was. And Dexter, he spills the beans about Matt didn't kill those guys in the boat, and it was like Matt wasn't driving. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I know that." And he goes, "How do you know that anyway?" Well, my girlfriend's a cop, and then the secretary has likes to gossip. So, oh yeah, you're right. So, and then he says, teenagers, haha, they're funny. He wasn't a teenager, as Kurt points out, and then you hear the inner monologue of going, "Yeah, I knew that," but he said it anyways, right? So I'm kind of curious as to see what's going to happen, again, furthering that whole plot between Kurt and Dexter. More on Kurt, where we see this girl with green hair. She was given money the first time, but she wants more for bus fare. And Kurt goes, "Hey, just work for me at the diner, earn some money that way." And then he says, "I have another solution, another idea." We don't really find out what it is, but we're led to believe something. We're actually led in a car drive to where this little house or little cabin is that, lo and behold, has a basement. The same basement that we saw the girl running out of, right? The same basement we saw a gentleman with a mask over his head aim a laser-pointed rifle at her back and kill her. So maybe it's not the billionaire. Maybe it's Kurt Caldwell. And maybe the reason why Matt is so kind of, was fucked up is from his father. Again, the whole like father, like son. I'm not saying that obviously it's genetic, but even though I think if that's what it turns out to be, then this show is kind of slightly painting the picture. So we'll find out what happens. We're one episode away from being halfway done through the season. As far as the rest of this episode goes, I think overall, again, they're keeping with the strong pace, the strong inclusion of the plot lines. They're really not letting anything go to waste. Nothing has really felt like extra filler to me. And again, I think this might be the reason by having 10 episodes in a season instead of 12. So you kind of can cut out that fat and move the overall stories and character developments, better. So things to look forward to in the future of this season. One, is it Mr. Caldwell or the billionaire that's responsible for the missing women, that's killing them and shooting them in the back and keeping them hostage and drugging them? Does Harrison kill more? Does Dexter kill Harrison? Or does he embrace him? Does Dexter actually finally reveal his secret? His deep, dark, deep passenger secret, right? Does Molly truly continue to help Angela and find out more missing women? Or actually, does it further lead to the missing women that we've seen so far this season? And we find out who the killer is. And then Dexter strikes down upon that person. Or maybe he lets Harrison take over. And maybe 6. What's up with Deb? I like her inclusion. I like Jennifer Carpenter's inclusion in this. I kind of hope they continue on with the way she's being portrayed. And I think the parts that when she does appear in there in the show, it's actually done rather well. And it's just kind of like when we first saw Harry in the beginning of Dexter, right? It was fresh. It was well done. It really kind of kept Dexter thinking and learning and growing. So yeah, we'll see. What do you guys think about this episode? What do you guys think about some of the points I just made here at the end? If you made it that far, hopefully, thank you. I would say this episode probably gets a solid 8 for me. I want to save any sort of higher ratings maybe later on. We've got about 6 episodes left. So I do think that the season is still progressing in the ascension direction. So if you have any comments, want to share anything with me, want to tell me, hey, I'm right or I'm wrong or I'm dumb, please don't say that. Don't bully me. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. Or am I onto something? Am I onto something like Dexter's onto something, or that Molly Park's onto something here? Not that it's all sort of rocket science, right? I think some of the things are kind of predictable with this. Like, we know what's going to happen, right? I'd like to think that Dexter's not going to die at the end of the season. I'd like to think that, Angela's not going to die at the end of the season, that whoever it is, the billionaire or Kurt, will die at the end of the season, and that maybe Harrison does learn about the dark passenger from Dexter. And the New Blood title in this show is actually the representation of Harrison. So again, leave your comments below, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, support us, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.